This is my CST 498 individual video report. The version control we went with was GitHub, and you can find a link to that in the PowerPoint slides. For the file structure, this is the structure of the project in Sublime Text 3. Sublime is where I do most of the coding for the project. The resources folder contains the starting Excel file as well as notes about the project. The one included here is a reference for creating and activating virtual environments. The Django virtual environment allows me to create and run a test server on my device. It provides access to Python scripts for creating and working with Django projects. The command for activating this Django virtual environment is django dev/scripts/activate.bat, and I use that quite a bit. Okay, so manage.py is Django's command line utility for administrative tasks, and it's shown here. Running the test server. So right now the website is only on my machine. I use the Django command python manage.py run server to run a server on my computer, and I can open that up in my my preferred web browser. This allows me to access the website and test new functionalities as I'm creating them. So Django uses a lot of templates, and all of the templates in this project inherit from the base.html template that I created. Base.html contains each element of the site that needs to be displayed on every page, and the navigation and sidebar are inherited from this document, as well as Bootstrap, CSS, and styling classes. This is the home page. It's preliminary. It needs to look a bit different in the future, but this is what I have so far. It inherits a couple elements from the base.html template, and it'll be changed in the future to be more aesthetically pleasing. And here is the home.html. You can see where the code blocks are that allow for it to inherit from base.html. And also, this is where it loops over the database that contains all the posts. So this is an example of the code blocks used in Django. And this is about .html. Since our project isn't finished, we don't really have an about page. It would be mostly cosmetic and would explain our project further for people that are visiting the site. Okay, so this is the views.py file in the blog directory or the blog web application. Views are used to render web pages. They take an HTTP request and return a response. These are the views for rendering the home and about pages. So this is the models.py file from the blog web application again. And models are used to create database tables in Django. They define the type of data that is supposed to be stored. This code in particular will be used to generate SQL statements automatically. They're stored in the migrations folder of each web application directory. Migrations. So the commands for migrations are python manage.py, which is the administrative task utility again, make migrations and migrate. These are done in the command line to create a newly defined database tables. They produce the migration file to the right as a result. Database. So currently I'm using an SQLite 3 database for testing, but in the future I'll transition that to Postgres or possibly MySQL. urls.py for the blog web application. This file is where URL patterns are declared. They're given a URL path as well as a name and the location of the views that are used to render the page. This is the Django project directory. It's created automatically for any Django project, and it takes the name of the full project. It contains the settings.py file, which handles the global settings for the entire project. It also has a urls.py file that can be used to create routes to any other web application in the project, and we'll see that soon. This is the urls.py file. This file contains URL patterns for every major page in the site. Okay, and this is the settings.py file. It's not the entire file. The entire file is much longer, but what I contributed to it was just defining the installed apps, so blogs, users, and predictions, as well as crispy forms, which I use for some of the CSS styling options they have, and then those are also some URL routes are defined at the bottom. of the settings.py file. Conclusion. Yeah, I have a lot more to work on, but the progress has been somewhat steady. The most challenging part of this project is the wide array of things that need my attention. My goal is to incorporate a lot more functionality going forward and into the next semester.